Goddamn, we getting people in here quick. How's it going, fellas? Apologies, there might be some banging going on in the background. Shockingly enough, it's not me with your mother. There's construction going on in the unit next to us. What the fuck? Apparently I can start polls and a Q&A on YouTube. Interesting. I hadn't seen that before. Yo, I can also set it to members only? And force people to pay me to watch my shit? That's awesome. That's so cool. Still sad that BO4 is a non-existent endgame because it's a really good game. Not BO2 levels in my opinion, but it's still fun. BO3 right now just has way better endgame compared to BO4. Honestly, I think my bigger issue than even the endgame problems right now is actually just like the playthrough. I could excuse BO4 having an utter dog shit endgame if it wasn't for the fact that it was also agonizing to just replay the game at all. If they would fix the fucking scaling issues instead of just saying it's intentional, and like fix the level 30 skip experience, BO4 it would immediately be in so much of a better state. Like the reason that the end game is such a problem is because there's nothing else. There's only end game in that game right now, but there's also no end game. Would you rather end game but no end game? End game, infinite end game, but no end game. Doing an Iron Bear build on Moe's, it's crazy how much damage Iron Bear does compared to Zane's Digiclone or Action Turret. Dude, fucking Iron Bear was honestly my favorite turret in the franchise. I usually run Rocketeer, just because I kind of like setting and forgetting Auto Bear. Borderlands 4, more like actually Borderlands 2 was the last good game in the series Lands 4. True. God, all three of you being the same color is going to give me a stroke. Holy shit. I never used or liked cars in Borderlands, so BO4 was awful to get to. I just wish it at least had the customization that BO3 had. Despite, like I said in that video, despite BO3 not really ever having a focus on cars except for, like, those two maps, I've spent so much time customizing my vehicles, even the ones that I don't use. Like, on my main Zane save, I have a fully pimped the fuck out Outrunner and the Bandit Technical, but I pretty much only ever used the Cyclone, but I've still gone through and customized the shit out of them because it's fun. Actually, like, this game having a somewhat in-depth vehicle system is kind of cool, and having it be like it's not just affecting stats like speed and shit and like recovery. A lot of the parts in 3, either they're combat related and they change how you engage in like vehicle combat as little as there is, or they just straight up like fucka with the handling of the vehicle, which I think is really cool too. Like it changes how it handles. As a BO2 supremacist, I still will give BO3 this really good endgame, and the Molly 1 takedown is one of the most fun content Gearbox has ever released for Borderlands, and the DLC are so good. Exactly, like, that's what I wish more BO2 supremacists were like. You're a reasonable one. Anyways, fellas, let's get on into things here. Today we're doing some, we're just grinding XP. Might go out and level up the Mayhem. We'll see about that. Probably will, at least a little bit today, because I'm hoping to also get some farming done. But that'll all kind of depend on how long it takes to actually get to max level, which realistically shouldn't take too long. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Try using Salamander on Iron Bear, and God, it's painful to use. Dude, it's bad. Salamander is awful. It scales off of fucking nothing, and it does no damage base. It just has literally no fucking redeeming quality to it whatsoever, other than being a cool fucking flamethrower. But pretty much, I think the only time I ever use Salamander is, what's it called? For Iron Cub. To prevent Cub from killing itself. If I want Cub to actually be active, then that's the use case of Salamander for me. I'm a Borderlands player since it released day 1 in 2009, so I'm a Borderlands fan through and through, and I've liked every Borderlands game. I'm still hopeful BL4 will turn out good since the story is, in my opinion, is better in 4. That's the thing, like, I want the game to turn out good. I can't deal with hoping for it to anymore, though. I guess, well, okay. It's more so I'm hoping that BO4 will get good, but I'm not expecting it to. That has saved me from being disappointed every week. Has the BL3 cock taste, Home Guzzler? Fucking delicious. Cheesy, even. How would you fix Salamander? Oh, fuck. It kind of just needs better base damage. Like, the thing is, you can't really... Like, it scales off of everything that it realistically should scale off of. Which I think well, okay, no, you know what? I think just default Salamander should also scale off of Splash. Because since the default doesn't scale off of Splash, it just kind of inherently makes the one that does deal Splash better. Because it gives it another multiplier. So there's no point in ever using anything other than the Splash one if you're actually trying to do damage with it. So I think it should just all scale off of Splash, no matter what. And then... the anointment should be like 300%, because I think the anointment is only... I think it's only 100 or 150. The Salamander anoint. Where the fucking... I might be wrong about that. I honestly, I can't 100% remember. But, I think it's like only 100 or 150, and Bare Fist is 300. And Bare Fist is 300 because if it wasn't 300, it would be weaker. Or it would be a lot weaker. Like, that anointment kind of saves Bare Fist entirely. So if they just increased that shit, then I think Salamander would immediately be a hell of a lot better. I treat myself as a bird watcher when it comes to BL4. Dude, there was a huge-ass hawk outside of my house earlier. Actually, he might still be there. He was just chilling out by the fucking highway. You should know that Pico was really interested in your video. BL3 is brain rotting cat approved. Perfect. I'm so glad I could help you in turning your cat into a fucking iPad kid. What would each Borderlands planet come taste like? Athenas is going to taste the best. Eden 6 is probably going to taste the worst. Pandora is probably dusty as hell. What the fuck? Why does that thumbnail make my pangle tangle? You're welcome. Always happy to assist. Oh, I should have grabbed. I didn't get the brain juice. Fuck. Hold on. I have to go back to Sanctuary. First region is boring compared to the other two BL4 regions. The starting one is just eh. Yeah, I honestly think that's like the worst possible one they could have picked to start us in. But what I also find kind of insanely boring about it is, I know we've been to a lot of different areas in Borderlands, like a lot of different biomes, but I feel like they really did just pick the same shit that we've always seen. You know, actually, what's funny is I think the Fade Fields are the first, like, just normal, like, forested area we've seen. So that's actually probably the most unique area in that game. It's just boring as hell, which kind of kills it. But, like, Terminus Range and, Terminus Range, Terminus District, and Arcadia, they all are locations that we've been to so many times in this franchise. Like, kinds of locations. Which I think is a little eh. Should have just made a column that gives Salamander chaining and continuous damage bonus. Yeah, they should have just made it the foot gun. Fade Fields is like the Highlands plus trees. Like, I think the Fade Fields could have actually been a really cool area. They just did nothing with it. They just slapped a bunch of trees everywhere. BO4 is the most fun for you to play through, but the end game is zero, literally zero. I would say that's true for the first playthrough. The weird enemy scaling completely fucks it for me. Like, the game itself is fun, but dear God, being forced into... Well, see, that's the thing. They say that it's to force you, because I think they acknowledged it. They said it's intentional. They want you to do side quests and shit to level up. The problem is, sometimes the enemies just continue to scale with you regardless. Like, sometimes I'll go do a bunch of side quests. I'll level up like 3 or 4 times, and enemies, I still cannot see how many levels ahead they are of me. Which, if I've leveled up 3 or 4 times, would imply that either they are more than 10 levels ahead of me, by like a wide margin, like significantly more than 10 levels ahead of me, or they are scaling with me. It's so dumb. The Howl is a really good concept, but they just sent you to get the scientist and then forget about it. The Howl, I think, is my favorite part of the Fade Fields, yeah. The Howl is actually really cool. If they did more, like, diverse areas like that within the Fade Fields, I think it would have been dope. I do also really like the section where you go get one of the vault fragments. It's like, the pier. It's not just like a small little mobbing section. It's not like a whole ass biome or whatever the fuck. But that's a really cool area too. But again, like, they could have done more with the beach sections, and they didn't. It's shocking that they haven't fixed the sailing. Apparently, they've said, I've not seen it, but I have been told that they've said that it's intentional. That it's intentional and that it's to make you do side quests. But yeah, no, like, I'm telling you, BO4 would be so much better received if they would just fix that shit. If they would fix the level 30 skip and they would fix the scaling bullshit. It's still gonna have endgame issues, but at least you can play the fucking game. Like Wonderlands. Wonderlands had massive endgame problems. And yet, it was a very well-received game because it fucking had, it had playthrough, like, replayability. Like, crazy good replayability. There's nothing for me to sink my time into in BL4, besides fucking phosphine farming. It's my favorite area because it's the least annoying to navigate. See, as annoying as it can be to navigate, I really like Terminus. But it's mostly because I really like the auger areas. I think the augers are so fucking cool. Like, Belton's Boar that's my home. That's my hub. Wonderlands was also crap at endgame. Exactly, but people played that for way fucking longer than BL4. Because of, again, the replayability carried that game. Which, granted, as crap as the endgame was, it did have more endgame than BL4 did. And actually, Wonderlands had a really good endgame up until they kept upping Chaos. And never upping level cap. I think if they stopped upping Chaos at 25 or 30 and gave us, like, level 50, I think that Wonderlands actually would be pretty damn good. Like, even the end game, as lacking as it was, I think it would be much more well-received. I don't know, Wonderlands, they really wanted to be Diablo, and then, BL4, they really want to be Destiny. I wonder what they'll yoink from next. Maybe Wonderlands 2 will just be Skyrim. Infiltrator's such an underrated class mod. I mean, pretty much any Zane class mod is underrated compared to the Seeing Dead. To fucking most people. As shit as that class mod is nowadays. BO4 should have started at level 60. It absolutely should have. The fact that it didn't is also a huge contributing factor as to why... actually, it's the contributing factor as to why, like, no one's uploading build videos anymore. There's fucking nothing else that you can do. Like, pretty much every build has been figured out. They added... Didn't, like... I think most of the new class mods that they added with Bloom Reaper pretty much require a level cap increase to actually be useful. Like, I know that for a fact with Vex. I've heard similar things about Amons and Harlow's. I think the only one that was just immediately useful was Rafa's. It's a picture of Pico watching the stream. Hold on, let me go see this. I've grabbed the wrong fucking brain juice. I just realized I grabbed the fucking butt milk. I did not get the XP. I'm actually fucking so stupid. The Spy, my goat. The Spy is my favorite comp for Zane. I love the Spy. Very nice alternative for, what's it called? Executor. Have you seen the, I did make a build for, I'm pretty sure I talked about it in the video, but Ambassador Zane, the entire, like, point of me making that build was, it literally, like, it came to me while I was taking a shit. I was taking a big old dump, and I was like, I wonder if there's any situation ever where the Spy is actually better than the Executor. And I was just like, I was thinking about it, and it came down to, like, I needed to figure out how I could get what the Executor is giving me with the Spy and have it in a way where the Spy ends up benefiting that shit more than the Executor would. Which is why I think that build uses, if I remember correctly, it's Old God, and I do remember it uses the Crit Anointment. So it's Crit Anoint Old God. Which, that alone pretty much gives you, like, the cryo damage and the crit damage that you get from Executor. But were you to use the Executor, you'd kind of get less out of it. Yeah, I saw that build. Dude, I love that one. It honestly feels really good to use, even if it's a bit weaker. Defiant Calder, my goat. I fucking love him. Golden Rule Amara, my goat. Dude, Golden Rule still fucking crazy underrated. I mean, honestly, when it comes to Amara comms, I think it's the same sort of thing as with Zane, just to a slightly lesser degree, where like any gun comm for Amara is super underrated because most people just use the fucking phase zerker. I love barrier crit. I love the color purple and the spy boost purple skills. No, the spy fucking slaps. Phase Zerker, I snooze. Phase Zerker's so fucking boring. I genuinely hate that class mod. Like, it's just a stat stick. You know, okay, well, now I'm a hypocrite. Because, like, the fucking Executor is probably my single favorite class mod, and it has been since release. But, it's a different stat stick, okay? It's different. It's different. No, I think it's cool that the, Executor is a kill skill. And therefore, it gets buffed by kill skill bonuses. Like, that alone is enough for me to be mildly more interested in that than, Phase Zerker just kind of giving stats. Golden Rule, Stone, and Nimbus are all crazy underrated. Nimbus? Nimbus for the, skill rolls, I'm guessing? You know, Stone is fucking crazy, though. I want to do more with the Stone. I've played around with a couple different things, but the problem was I think I peaked way too hard with the Stone. Way too early. Like, the first build that I fucking did with the Stone is just completely cracked. And so every time I use the Stone for something else, I'm like, this is underwhelming compared to Unbreakable. Like, I've used the Stone for a UTR setup. UTR Stone is also pretty cool. But it's not as fucking crazy as Unbreakable is. Nimbus Cloud Kills can be cracked as fuck. Does it... Okay, I might be crazy. Does the Nimbus Cloud, it scales off of the damage you deal, right? Like, it's like how dots actually scale? Because you said that, and now it unlocked something in my brain. I do actually kind of remember seeing that there's potential within the Nimbus Clouds. But I might be thinking of something else. But genuinely, you use like shit with the kick charger with it, right? Shit that you can hit really crazy fucking dots with. I thought when I tested it, it was just base damage, but I think I was corrected on that at some point. Problem with Rafa comms is that Dancer Resistance is the best comp for overdrive shit. Yeah, and pretty much overdrive shit is the only way that Gun Rafa works right now. Rafa's hard to tell if he's going to get better with time or worse with time. I really can't tell if his build diversity is going to tank with level cap increases or if it's going to be better. It seems like it could really go either way. What I can tell you is Green Tree, or fucking Melee Rafa, is going to not give a single fuck about a majority of level cap increases. Pretty much just going to be that he gets to now go down all 3 trees. And that's gonna be Melee Rafa. It's gonna be crazy. I still need to get my Melee Rafa up to fucking UVH 6. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that. I did see some guy do it. I did see one man actually survive Balloon Reaper with fucking Melee Rafa, which was crazy to witness. Because dear God, is that agonizing to get through. Which Vault Hunter is objectively the worst in BL4? I mean, like, Amon's the easy answer, right? But I don't think... The problem is, I think right now Amon's the worst, but I don't think that's going to last. Are Bearfists any good? Yeah. You want to see Bearfists being good? I got a video up on them. Bearfists are really fucking goofy. They scale weird as hell. But you can do a lot with them. They can clear the entire game, no problem. Scales off the weapon you're hoarding when you proc it, then you can use the elemental crit to make it go boom. Gotcha, okay. I do remember that now. Ruff might also be one of those guys who gets more build diversity with new class mods and shields rather than skill points. I feel like that's what they're gonna have to do. Because I'm like, Rafa just, he doesn't seem very volatile. I feel like he's one of the few that actually has access to a lot of his major synergies already. And Green Tree is like, it completely doesn't interact with any gun build. So I think every gun build is just going to be a mix of blue and red. And I feel like there's kind of an objective best way to do blue-red for the most part. Oh, thank you, Matthew, for the follow. Welcome, brother. So Amon, you think will become good with level increases? I think Amon is good right now. The problem is I think Amon's going to be absolutely batshit insane with level cap increases because, okay, so think of it this way. This is exactly the thing that happened with Mose, was she kept getting buffed on her skills over and over again. And as level caps came, she kept getting to access to more and more of those skills that were buffed per build. So say at level 50, her build had maybe access to 3 of the buffs, okay? She had the points to grab 3 of the buffs at one time. And, you know, that was great. That helped her out a hell of a lot. And then she gets a level cap increase, and now suddenly she has access to, like, 6 of the buffs. She has enough points to grab 6 of them. She just doubled the amount of buffs that she's benefiting from. Some of those buffs were absolutely massive, and so now she's double dipping on, like, multiple 100% increases or some shit. You know? I think that's what's gonna happen to Amon. And it's gonna be a mess, because what happened with Mose when that happened, okay, was, a lot of Mose players were very upset that their character was, like, mid. Mose was never even really bad. She was just mid and mildly obnoxious to use at times. Because the meta was like Iron Bear spam, pretty much. And so most players were upset that for this long they'd been held back, you know, while everyone else got to have fun. By the way, Zane was absolute utter dog shit at this point. Zane players were kind of chill with it, though. We never really had a problem with how bad Zane was. Most players were a little bit whiny. And then so Moses finally absolutely cracked after a couple level cap increases. And they can't nerf Mose without everyone bitching. Because they're like, no, it's our time to be broken now. Now we get to finally be broken. Fuck you. Zane was also shitting as now he is the most powerful Vault Hunter in BO3. I don't know if I'd say that. I'd say he has one of the most powerful interactions, but I don't think he even has the best recursive bullshit in this game. As someone who played Launch Mose and Launch Zane, Zane was basically unplayable. At least I could do bottomless mag shenanigans on Launch Mose. Exactly, but the Mose players bitched so much more than the Zane players ever did. Like, Zane was so shit. He did end up getting, like, bumped up pretty quickly, alongside, like, a lot of the changes and stuff. And eventually he was, like, in a decent state. I mean, then fucking Seen Dead happened and he became like an actual character, but honestly I think they balanced Zane way better than they balanced Mose, because they didn't, like, I don't know, they were smarter with his balancing. Like, it was smart for them not to just overbuff a bunch of his shit, because imagine if Zane got violent momentum buffs early on in the lifespan of this game. You know? I think that was like, maybe that's why Zane players were kind of more understanding. Maybe we just knew that Zane could have been a menace. Zane was kind of balanced on a knife's edge. Amon is the worst. That's crazy because Amon shreds really hard, but I haven't seen him fight Bloom Reaper. Amon does shred really hard. Like, he's done a lot of really good changes. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's Harlow. I think it's between Harlow and Amon. Like, I don't know. Maybe Vex. It feels retarded to say Vex, but at the same time, Vex, I think, has probably the least build diversity right now. But I could just be saying that because Vex is the one that I have the most experience with. I don't know if there's really, like... to be clear, when I'm talking about worst in 4, it's very close between all of them. Like, all of the characters in 4 are pretty much the same power level because all of them do the same goddamn shit. Every character is just a different placement of the same stats, you know? Wonder if BO4 will get a purple tree or make 2 more characters. They're making new characters. We've already seen Cash, which is the first DLC character. He's coming out with the story DLC. Mantis Cannon didn't exist. How weak would Zane be? Zane would be fine without Mantis. Zane was fine without Mantis for a very long time. But you can still do non-Mantis Zane builds, either with or without Executor. Like, I mean, you can use CN Dead if you want permanent uptime, but you don't need permanent uptime. You can use Executor or Infiltrator for double active builds if you just want more damage. And they're all totally fine setups. She has a lot of builds with Incarnate, but it's all fucking Incarnate. Exactly. I just think Lazy actually uploaded a Spectre's build. I've wanted to launch it. The problem is I just, like, it's been open in a tab since he uploaded it. I've just, like, not had any will to actually engage with BL4. If 4-headed takedown, each character would have multiple ways to approach it. Vex is basically only Incarnate, yeah. I mean, honestly, if there was a takedown, then Spectres could be better, but, like, there's no reason to use Spectres right now. I think what would be really cool is if she got a class mod where while Spectres were active, she, like, regened ammo somehow. Spectres need some more, like, some sort of other utility, and I think that would be really good because that would make it so that you could still do, what's it called? Like, sticky shenanigans without Incarnate. Like, Vex is really good with, I mean, stickies are just really fucking good, but Vex is really good with stickies because of, Witchy Triggerfinger. If she had some sort of fucking alternative to Witchy Triggerfinger, then I think that would immediately bump Incarnate down a little bit. Or even, you know, if she had, like, a fucking class mod that was, or, yeah, a class mod that was just, like, Summon for the Road, where each time she summoned a Spectre for, like, 5 seconds after, she had infinite ammo. I mean, maybe, like, 3 seconds. Probably want to lower that a little bit, because she has charges, so you would be able to do it, though, like, you summon one, you spam out stickies, you summon another, and you have, like, that kind of flow to it. I forgot the name of it, but I love Zane's DLC com with Sentinel and Barrier. DLC 2. Oh, the, Conductor? Conductor's really cool. The problem with Conductor is it's just really hard to actually make work in a way that's, like, justified. It's a really cool com, like, for fun, though. There was a brief period of time where it actually was really strong. When it, between, Conductor getting buffed and Purple Tree coming out, it was actually incredibly strong. But I think that was literally like a month. Most fun build for Vault Hunter? Vex. I love Vex. Well, okay. I love Vex, but, like, No, Vex is definitely the most fun to me. I just wish she had more options. I'm sick of Incarnate. I'm sick of having to nerf myself to use the cool utility still. I need an excuse to use that god roll Kindred Spirits. Kindred Spirits is such a cool class mod. Trouble still just has less HP than a fucking Reaper, though. A Peacemaker any good? I don't know if I know what the Peacemaker is off the top of my head. Bleed build is stupid strong even after the nerf? Yeah. I kind of like Bleed, though. I like the current state of Bleed. The recursive Bleed was dumb, but as strong as Bleed still is, I think it's a really cool fucking... I mean, it's probably the single most interesting skill to me in BL4. Prismatic Ichor is also really cool. It's just stupid as hell and annoying as hell to use, but, you know, it's working as intended, so that's always cool. That's good to hear. Rafa's the most boring. I think Rafa's almost cool. I really like his melee. Like, arc knives are fun as fuck. But yeah, to me, he's like... Rafa's in this strange state to me because I thought I'd really like him because Rafa's straight up just Zane. Like, Rafa's Zane, but done way more successfully. But so is Axton. And I think Axton's actually better than... Like, I find Axton significantly more enjoyable than Rafa. Rafa almost interested me with the turret, but the turret doesn't really draw aggro and offers, like, next to no utility. Rafa's effectively Salvador in that, like, everything he does from action skills to, like, skills is just kind of damage. He's also kind of similar to Moe's in that aspect, but Moe's damage comes from more interesting methods. Rafa's kind of just raw damage all around, and it's really boring to me. At higher level camps, you need Shatter Weight to proc all 3 bleeds with Scourge. Dude, I'm telling you, Amon's gonna be obliterating everything come level 60. Like... And honestly, I kind of expect that, I expect that we might even be getting to 65 with the story DLC. Because I feel like just the way that the trees are designed, I feel pretty confident in assuming that we're going to be getting up to 80. And if we are getting up to level 80, then it's very likely that they're going to split that between these 2 story DLCs. So it's probably going to be 15 levels per. Action's a lot more interactive and therefore more engaging. Exactly. My only small story was Zane is fight for your life. I know still issue, but if I'm not running clone plus seeing dead, then I'm fucked, which a majority of the time I'm not a fan of clone plus seeing dead. It is kind of just, you gotta learn to play around it. Use cover when reloading is kind of the best thing I can tell you. Don't listen to Ivy. Don't use the death rattle on Zane. That's weapon damage. Zane has enough of that. She did make me come around to it on Moe's, though. Actually is kind of a banging class mod for Moe, or a banging relic for Moe's. Out of all the Borderlands, which Vault Hunter changed the most between launch to their current state, whether from patches or added gear? Probably Amara. Like, at least to my knowledge, I think Amara went through like 15 different, drastically different metas. That being said, like, throughout it all, the Phase Zerker has kind of always been her bread and butter, but God, she's been through so many different metas through the lifespan of BO3. I've been playing too much Warframe, might need to hop back on BO3 sometime. I highly recommend it. You know, I've been playing a lot of fucking Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, because my brain is mush. But honestly, I also highly recommend that. As long as you're not a fan of the Arkham games, it slaps. Forgotten weapon series for BO2 or BO4 or maybe BO1. You'll run out of BO3 weapons eventually. Yeah, I already have plans. It's gonna continue being BO3. BO1, I mean, like, that's pretty much just every weapon. No one plays that game anymore. BO2, I feel like it's been done so much. I also just, I don't have the same passion about guns in BO2 as I do, 3. BO4, maybe in the future. But, for BO4, it'll happen after that game has been through its patch cycle. That's not a series that I would want to do while guns could still change. Because then the videos get outdated, and I don't want the videos to ever be outdated for that. I feel called out. I got 20,000 hours in BO1. Yeah, but are you playing BO1 currently right now? Checkmate. Who do you play in Kill the Justice League? Harley. I've been running an Affliction build with the, I think it's Two-Face and Poison Ivy Infamy sets. It's been very, very fun. I'm playing BO4 and BO2, not BO1. Exactly! No one's playing that shit anymore. I still go back to it sometimes. Honestly, if anything, I'd probably go back and maybe do item reviews for, like, fucking TPS. TPS has some really cool guns. BO1's nostalgia, man. My first Borderlands game. BO1 still is one of my favorites in the franchise. As in, like, I think it's second to BO3 for me. Like, the ranking for me goes BO3, very close second, BO1, TPS, and then BO2, BO4. Wonderlands goes somewhere in there. It kind of depends on the day. It's either above or below BO2. Flip-flops a lot. TPS glitched pepper box, my beloved. Dude, I loved the glitch weapons. That was such a cool system. That's doing another rarity right. I tried to play BL1, I just can't. It's very difficult to go back to BL1 if you've not played it before playing the other ones. BL1 was also the game that I started with. I came into the franchise like sometime after BL2 released, but I started with BL1. It's much more tolerable with people. That's also true. I think the biggest issue with BL1, and I'm mad that they didn't really fix it with the remaster, is how strafing drops you out of sprint. It's really fucking annoying. Never played BL1, but I can't get over the severe lack of an FOV slider. There may not be a slider, but if you're on PC, you can straight up just go into the fucking game files and set your FOV. Actually, they also might have just added a slider with the Game of the Year edition, I think. Ranking still 3, TPS 2, Wonderlands 4. The disrespect for BO2. It's not a lot of problems to me, alright? I'm not a huge BO2 head. I do have like actually no, I think I have like 700 and something hours in it. Like, I have played a decent amount of BO2, and I do love that game. It just ain't my favorite. A way I've come to see BO1 is COD with a loot system before COD had a loot system. Enjoyed it. That's pretty accurate. BL1 was my first by accident. I wanted to get 2, but got BL1 because I mixed up the covers. You got fucking stealthed by BL1. That's crazy. That's wild, brother. I still haven't gotten the Nemesis Invader after 20,000 hours. It'll happen one day. I believe in you. BO2 is like a college course that you can only pass one way, and the professor will never tell you what the right way is. The gatekeeping is super real one too. Yeah. I think that's another odd thing about like the wider 2 community is how gatekeepy a lot of it has become over the years. It wasn't that way for a really long time. Like, even after 3 released, there was a lot of people that were open to new players joining and shit, but god, the toxicity in that game has gotten interesting. Gatekeeping, seriously? Yeah, dude, the fucking, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know how it is, like, nowadays, but back when I was active on Reddit, there was a lot of shit I'd see go down in the fucking BLT sub. Last I played BO2, I got an accident up to Digistruct and remembered they won't let me play it anymore unless I buy Commander Lilith. Very specific problem to have with it, but it's my main thing with it. Like, they released a DLC that made my content complete version no longer content complete. Yeah, I actually didn't know about that until recently, and that's really fucking dumb that they completely gate Digistruct behind Commander Lilith now. I thought that was just like a free update to the rest of the shit. I didn't realize it was also part of that DLC. And then again, the fact that they completely even lock you out of the whole thing is crazy. That's fucking Reddit though. Reddit is literally like the main community for 2 now is the problem. They got rid of the fucking Gearbox forums. Honestly, I think that's probably around when it majorly started getting into there. But yeah, no, the subreddit, which is like the main hub for the 2 community at this point, is it's a fucking nightmare. Again, I'm speaking as of like a couple years ago. I don't know if it's gotten better, but yeah, it was fucking rough. Now that I think about it, putting BL1 at second in my ranking is nostalgia. If I think about it, I should put BL3 at second favorite, but nostalgia is too strong for now, so BL3 and 4 are tiered at third as my 3rd favorite Borderlands games. Dude, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, my ranking for 1 is absolutely nostalgia. There are genuinely things about BL1 that I like more than the other games, like just the aesthetic of it. While it is just kind of gray, not necessarily the actual colors of the game, but the very dry humor and like exceedingly cynical nature of that game, I think is really fun. I really, really like the entire aesthetic of it. I think the gun system is actually just beautiful. But overall, as a game, it is not better. It's easily the worst in the franchise. Like, actual gameplay-wise. But it does just, it's full nostalgia that makes me like it more than a lot of others. Very Mad Max themed, yeah, and I fucking love it so much. I remember the first time I got to the dust and I was like, oh yeah, this is fucking, this is what this is. Issue with 2 is that some characters struggle super hard with the raid bosses. A big example is Krieg on Dragons. I mean, yeah, that's, the balance of 2 is kind of just nightmarish. That's why that game is so much better with, like, the community patch and shit. 2 is my favorite for so long, but eventually 3 won me over. The takedowns were a massive addition for me. I mean, yeah, just having, like, actual endgame is really nice, outside of just, like, 2 had an endgame, but I don't know, you can really only do so much with 2's endgame before you've, like, done it all. BL3, you can still do it all, but I feel like it doesn't have the same I've done it all feeling as BL2 does. What's funny is I think part of that is actually the part system in 3. I remember at first I was horrified by the part system in 3 when they first showed off the part breakdown. I was like, how many fucking parts does each gun have? This is going to be a nightmare. Because, you know, I was still BL2 brained at that point. Hadn't played BL3. It was still in the release, or like the announcement cycle and shit. So I was like, I was anticipating parts to have major importance, but no, BL3 having, for the most part, parts be like secondary to just getting the gun, and the gun itself being able to stand on its own most of the time, I think was really helpful. And then still having, like, god rolls, they do feel impactful. You can definitely feel the difference between a god roll and not a god roll, but it's not like the gun is completely fucking shit without one. And so being able to push for that god roll, I think, really does keep you, like, wanting to go for shit. Because, especially, it's not necessary to do it. The game isn't forcing you to farm the god roll like it does in BL4. Gotta love me a double anarchy without spinning bullets. Dude, the double anarchy, I'm so mad that still has not returned. Takedowns are halfway between Destiny Strike and a Borderlands raid. I love them both. Yeah, it's really odd to see how they go from takedowns, where it's like being inspired by the good parts of Destiny, to BL4, where they kind of are just trying to be Destiny, good and bad. I said it in one of the previous streams, but like, I do think seeing the genre, or the game that literally created the looter shooter genre, copy so directly from another game in the genre, I think that alone was a bad sign. Like, taking inspiration like 3 did with takedowns and shit, I think was fantastic. But straight up just like attempting to pull that audience away from Destiny, I think that was the first warning sign that things were maybe not as great as they could have been. One thing that bummed me with 3 is that I wanted locations from BL1 and 2 to return, like the Doll Headlands and the Dust, but nope, it was just pure cope for me, though. I do think that would have been cool, at least eventually, for, like, maybe just as, like, a little DLC zone or something. I think it could have been fun. I would have loved to see Firestone again. Like, I remember in BL2, I was so hyped going into the, what is it? Arid whatever. I can't even fucking remember which is the Boneyards or whatever the fuck is that one. But no, seeing Firestone and BL2 again, that was so fucking hype. And I kind of just wish that that happened again in 3. It probably wouldn't have made sense, but as like a little side area or something, I think it could have been cool. Could have been a fun one to add to like the clap list missions. If we return to Pandora in BL5, I want the Rust Commons West and East to return too. That would be really cool. Took me 236 rolls and more East to get a decent Ripper plus Jacob's Whiskey Foxtrot, but farming in 4 is good though. Trust true. And don't worry, that doesn't like completely change how the gun functions or feels and how good it is or anything. Don't even worry about it. It doesn't directly impact how useful a single piece of your gear is or anything, you know? Or like an entire piece of your gear. It's good. Take your 3% drop rate increase. So many cool BL1 locations that could return: the Salt Flats, the Rust Commons, Doll Headlands, Old Haven. I'd also love to see like the Knox area. See what happened to that after all these years. Air next is Badlands, yeah. Boneyard was the area with the pipe burst section. At least they haven't gone the fully live route yet. That'd be my worst fear. I think, so here's the thing. Nowadays, I agree. I honestly, like, there was a time that I wish that they just went live service with BL3. Because they pretty much were live service with it for 2 years. Like, the way that they supported this game was effectively a live service for 2 years. And they did it so fucking well. I'm like, if they did just go live service with it, I wouldn't have complained. I did have a guy in here a couple streams ago, and he said he was a guy in the games industry, and that he heard a lot of things. And I don't want to say I 100% believe everything, because, you know, random guy on the internet tells me he's in the games industry and starts dumping info about shit. So everything I'm about to repeat from that, take with a grain of salt. But he mentioned how like the original plan for BL3 was for like there was like a 10-year content cycle or some shit. And again, I don't know if I believe that. Very likely I don't. But God, it would have been awesome. You know, like if we ended up getting more Vault Hunters and fucking 4 trees for all of them and more story DLC and more fucking takedowns and shit. That would have been living the fucking dream. People love lying. Lying is fun, to be fair. Exactly. You think mandatory driving sections are so bad? I really like the second one. My only gripe with the first one, I do like them. I think they're kind of fun. I mean, like, they aren't long. It's a nice little change of pace, I find. The only one that I have a problem with is the first one, where you have to, like, stop and go. I think if you were in a Cyclone for those sections, it would be a lot better. Because they'd expect you to do these vehicle combat with other Cyclones in this enclosed area with this big, bulky-ass fucking technical. And I'm like, if you gave me something speedy and zippy that I could fly around in these little box sections in, I think that would actually be fun as fuck. But they give you a bandit technical, so you kind of just have to stand in one spot and wait for Maya to blast shit. That is my only problem with those sections. But I think the second one's really fun. Because that was just a straight shot through. You think a flying vehicle would help BL4 with getting through it faster? Oh, absolutely. I think just having more vehicle types would have been cool. I think if they just 1-for-1 copied to the fucking system from 3, it would have been cool. If I actually enjoyed customizing and riding my fucking vehicle, then yeah, I think even just that alone would make getting through BL4 a lot nicer. But something that could fly, or at least like At least something like the, what was it called in TPS? The, like, hover bike that could jump really high. Something like that would also be really nice. Stingray or something, I think? I can't fucking remember the name of it, but, like, that was cool. One thing I would want in 3 is just a COV takedown. I want a COV takedown so bad. Perfect midpoint between fucking Molly 1 and Guardian. Maya riding Psycart on a Cyclone would have been lit, especially if she was just hanging off the side, phase locking things left and right. Exactly! Like, if you were in a Cyclone for that section, it would have been so much cooler and way more fun for the actual vehicle combat sections. Huge missed opportunity. Ripper takedown in BO4? No, it's probably just gonna be Order. They love making you fight Order enemies 24/7 in that game. All 3 of the different Order enemies. It was the Stingray? Oh my god. I pulled that one straight out of the holes in my head. Reached in and plucked it out. Also, it's kind of crazy that I have not needed to find a new gun yet. This T-Or is a little bit cracked. Gearbox gave me Ripper takedown, then Order takedown, and finally something new. Well, there. Pull it back. They said we're getting 1 takedown so far, alright. Don't get ahead of yourself. I'd love for a let me cope. I would love for a takedown where it's like straight up just finding a vault, like an actual vault, an actual real vault. I'd like there to be an actual real vault in that game aside from the one. But a takedown where you have to like complete objectives to obtain the keys. You have like 3 different major sections that you have to do something to obtain the key fragments, put them together, and then slap them in. I feel like that could be fun. You have the 3 primordial vaults in BO4. The bosses are good too, but man, only 3. I mean, the thing is, none of them are actual vaults. That's what kind of bothers me about them. But they are, like, in gameplay they are, but like, I don't know, they feel kind of lame being fake vaults made by Timekeeper. With him being the only, like, actual one. Hyperion takedown would also be really cool. Yeah, that would require them making whole new enemy types, though. You think they're gonna do that shit? Just as long as there's as many diverse humanoid Hyperion mobs as BO2 had. I really wish that we just got, like, trials with each of the major story DLCs in, BL3. To, like, play with those enemies. Or, like, at least a slaughter shaft or something. Either having each DLC released with a trial or a slaughter associated to the enemy types, I think would have been awesome. You know, I said that, I like, mentioned out loud that I was shocked that I didn't have to start getting new shit, but, I'm starting to think I might need to get new shit. God, I should have put on fucking Cartels. That way I could have been getting guns while doing this. Actually, can they be haunted? Maybe I put on fucking a Halloween event and hunt for loot ghosts. I'm gonna turn on cartels. It'll probably make this go faster. I get what you mean about live service, but after seeing great games fall apart from paywalls recently, it strikes fear in my heart as I love so much to end up at such a risky position. That's the thing. I think only with 3 would I have had the confidence for them to actually go live service. After what BO4 is, absolutely not. A bonded takedown would have went so hard. The bonded are really fun to fight. They are. I still just wish that DLC had actual bosses outside of just normal bonded. Well, hey, you know what was live service and is no longer? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I'm actually kind of mad that that died. I came into it literally just like a month or 2 ago. Because I got it for like $5. I got the Ultimate Edition for $5 on Steam during the winter sale. And it's a fun fucking game. I'm mad that it never even got like all 13 Brainiacs that it was initially planned to have. Is this game worth buying? I've been debating on it. BL3? Absolutely. I got 5,000 hours in it, if that's anything to go off of. I got 5,000 hours in it, and I'm still playing it almost daily. It was a really bad game. I'm still mad about it because it had so much potential. I mean, I think the game itself is fantastic. Literally the only thing that I could see being a problem is just... Like, I am not a huge fan of the Arkham games. As in, like, they're really cool. I've watched Ivy play them. But I, like, don't really care that much about the lore. And from what I can tell, that's what most people were super upset about. Was, like, how it was part of the Arkham universe. But I have no issue with that, because I don't give a fuck. And, like, the game itself, I think, is fantastic. It's one of the most fun looter shooters I've played since fucking Borderlands. Like, the only other looter shooter, I think, to really give me the... Or, like, get close to BL for me has been Outriders. Which, rip Outriders, too. But, dude, fucking Kill the Justice League has been hitting that spot for me even harder than Outriders did. I wonder if Suicide Squad was even losing money, because my understanding is that the benchmarks for live service adjacent games is super skewed. Like, Marvel recently announced they're closing a mobile live service for only making $200K a month. God damn. You tried out BL4. I played BL3 on my old PS4, but I was thinking about getting it on PC. I have tried BL4. I have a lot of thoughts on BL4. BL4 is a fun game. There's just not really much to do. It's really fun for a first playthrough, though. Subsequent playthroughs kind of suck ass. It's not getting a lot of support from the devs, and there's like nothing to do in the end game. But it is a fun game. BL4 is the best Borderlands name for a first playthrough, then Crickets. Yeah, exactly. His video, I know I do a lot of videos if you want to go to my channel and check those out. I've yapped about BO4 extensively on there. In the live tab, there's also the archives of the initial streams that I did on BL4. Like my first playthrough is all there. If you want to check out the actual gameplay itself. So I should pretty much pick BL3 or BL2 if I want to like grind it for a while. I love both, just the way they play. I would say so, yeah. Like BL4 has a lot of grind. The issue with it is that it's kind of only grind. That's kind of the only shit that you have to do in that game right now, is to grind, and then there's nothing to actually do once you've grinded. The grind is rough. It is very mean and unforgiving and very specific. And then there's nothing to even do with the stuff that you grinded for. Grinding XP is also agonizing. It takes like 4 or 5 hours with the best XP farm to get to max level after completing a story, depending on where you complete it at. Oh man, we got double bosses. Surely this will go well while I'm using severely underleveled weapons. I mean, if we can kill them though, that's a fish slab. Give me the yellow cake. Roaster too. Wait, I think both of these fuckers drop yellow cake, right? Or no, mincemeat does. I think. Man, they didn't drop shit. Yeah, times 18 stagecoach is something. I guess they did drop something. What I am gonna do is head to Sanctuary real quick. BL2 endgame syndrome. BO4 is the most interesting and fun weapons in my opinion. Boomslang is just chef's kiss. I got on a world drop level 20 and it got me to 32 easy. I disagree overall. I think a lot of the weapons in BL4 is bland. A lot of them are kind of just stat sticks. There are some really cool ones. I absolutely adore the fucking Boomslang too. I think the Bonnie and Clyde is actually... Bonnie and Clyde is kind of a stat stick, but it's a stat stick that has some really fun gameplay to it. But overall, I think 4 is a little bit lacking in the gun department. Miracle, quick shot. That could be nice. ASC Cryo 2 on it. That could be really nice. I don't know if I've tried the Interloper yet. That might be different. Give that a little try. See how that goes. Outriders endgame was so tedious, it's a shame there's no more support for it. They did, like, completely rework the endgame, though, didn't they? Honestly, I never played it after they fucked with the endgame, just because I hadn't gotten around to getting back to it yet. But I know that game had, like, a lot of really good support after the fact. That'll probably be good enough to take us up a little bit. And no, I'm not going to vendor cheese. Vendor cheesing is lame and gay. And I'm only one of those things, baby. Looking at the Steam charts for new Tales from the Borderlands, and I was surprised to see that even that game somehow had 12% of its peak until BO4 came out. What the fuck do you mean? Which is remarkable for a game that didn't break 400 concurrent players on Steam. I'm sorry, hold on. Are you telling me that fucking new Tales performed better, like comparatively, percentages, based on percentages, new Tales is doing better, or was doing better than fucking BL4? Is that what you just typed in my Twitch chat? Dear God. BO2 really did spoil us with each legendary having a truly unique effect compared to BL1 where every legendary was basically a stat stick. Yeah. At least in BL1 that was like kind of to be expected with just how the guns worked. BO4 kind of going back to that. My brain's too ADD brain rotted from fucking short form content. I love short form content. I love injecting that shit straight into my fucking cranium and rotting my brain out of my ear holes. But yeah. Currently, there are 7K players playing BO4 on Steam charts. I mean, hey, that's actually more than there usually has been in a 24-hour peak. BO3 has the most bang for its buck. I think that's 100% true, especially considering you can get it for really good fucking prices nowadays. Is that just... Yeah, it's just an interloper. What was the other thing that I got? This. Yeah, it's a fucking... It's a chain mag, but unfortunately it's a bang stick chain mag. Oh, there's a legendary. Someone died over here. No pew pew? Woohoo! Already out of ammo. Classic no pew pew behavior. Counterpoint Handsome Collection for 20 bucks. Dude, I mean, I have more hours in BL3 than I do the entire franchise combined. So even then, my vote's still on 3. You get 3 for like 5 bucks. Or, hold on, let me actually see. Let me compare the Handsome Collection to 3 on G2A. Borderlands 3 is $5 on G2A. And Handsome Collection. Oops. Oh, my mic. I'm so sorry. Handsome Collection is $7 on G2A. So I'm just saying that's a whole $2 difference, all right? That's pretty epic poggers if I do say so myself. Rad explosions are too satisfying? Yeah, and they completely neutered them in BO4. Looks like you just make an enemy piss their fucking pants and that's it. Their piss-filled pants explode and that's your rad explosion. You know what else is more satisfying in fucking 3 is leveling up. I hate how blinding and obnoxious the level up animation in 4 is. In 3, it's blinding, but like not in a way that hurts. The noise also just hits way harder. Counterpoint, I've got 20,000 hours on BL1, so everyone buy BL1, reject modernity, return to 2009. Honestly, based. You just here for XP? Yeah. Anything good? That could be good. Nothing else. Did I not stay out there long enough? Whoops. Stillness of Mind is good for scrap trap minions. It's fucking fantastic for scrappies. Well, you know what's even better? Grav trap. Not actually, but I believe it is because I want to. Oh my god. You dropped a lot of shit. Holy fuck. Seeing Dead, Nagata, Infiltrator, and another no pew pew. That's like the 4th Seeing Dead I think we've gotten here. Kind of a decent Infiltrator. I almost think the fucking Teeter was still faster. Gonna hold up even on Mayhem 4? Let's find out. Did you ever start that bullshit again, sir? We all want to love Grav Trap. Grav Trap's incredible. Forage is literally my goat. Grab Trap's lone soldier still fighting, and I will continue to. I don't know if you guys noticed, I snuck a little Grab Trap gameplay into the first BL4 video. Or not first one, but the why BL4 is a disappointing sequel. I snuck some Grab Trap footage in there. I've exposed 20,000 people almost to Grab Trap gameplay. A nice little psyop. You know what's also funny? So the first day of that video being out, I got 6,000 views in 24 hours. That's more than the average 24-hour peak of people actually playing BL4. Isn't that wild? Wild that in 24 hours, more people clicked on my video than clicked to launch BL4. I sorely missed the community that surrounded BL3. There was a great vibe going on for a while. I think that could exist for 4, even like without the same amount of patches. The problem is there's just no communication. Except on Twitter. Like, that's pretty much the only line of communication, is sometimes they fucking respond and tweet shit out on Twitter. But aside from that, like, there's not been any communication. Like, I think the Bordercast was a huge fucking boon to community interaction for 3. And what's funny is I kind of forgot about it. I remember the one day I was in fucking chemistry. And we weren't fucking doing anything. Instead of actually paying attention to chemistry, I kind of just pulled up the Bordercast on my phone and watched that. I was so hyped because that was the one where they first showed off the Heartbreaker. It was for the Valentine's Day event. Yeah, this is slower for the cartel fuckers, but it is going faster for actually killing Scrappies. The rush when they add pearls in BL4, don't make them shit like BL2. Thankfully, they're free add-on too. I just really hope that they do them justice and not just, like, slap them on fat enemies again. I don't even care if the guns themselves are good, genuinely. I just need them to be fun to farm. Only the Butcher and the Becker were good, and even then to use the Butcher you need practicable. Whoa, excuse you. Whoa. I don't like the disrespect that I'm hearing from my boy the Sawbar. Avenger was also good specifically on Axton. Pearls are raid boss loot, so put the pearls behind Bloom Reaper or other beefy late game bosses. Exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. I thought pearls in 2 just overall were so fucking lame. I never really had much of an interest to actually farm for them. killing these fuckers fast enough, so my ammo upkeep has been tanking. I gotta go grab a Breath of the Dying. Breath of the Dying would probably flap here. Where does it drop from? I'm gonna go for it. I literally cannot remember where you dropped from. I don't ever fucking farm for this thing. Blinding Banshee. Wouldn't be too bad of a farm. I don't think the Storm BO3, which is a legendary, is a million times better than the BO2 or Pearl BO2 version. Yeah. Emergent meta artistic expression that we didn't use pearls, so they became pearls before swine. What? Emergent meta artistic expression that we didn't use pearls, so they became pearls before. Brother, I don't know what the fuck you just typed. I'm gonna be so real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100, brother. I got no idea what you're on about. I'm too fucking retarded for this shit. BO3 Storm wasn't always cracked. It got 3 targeted buffs as well as the overall sniper buff before people really realized just how good it had gotten. Yeah, which is funny because I think after the... From what I remember, I think it only really needed the first buff. It was either the first or second buff where it really got good. And then it literally wasn't until the sniper buff that people realized, oh, this thing's fucked. This thing utterly obliterates literally anything that you pointed at. Not first try. Then we discovered the Storm Amara interaction. She got that 2-in-1. Oh shit, bro. I fucking totally missed your song request. There you go. The problem with pearls and 4 is that we basically already have pearls. Yeah, are you excited to have phosphine pearls? Isn't that gonna be sick? Red queen again. That might fucking slap. Straight wiggling my worm. Like a Ripper Jacobs Star Helix is basically a pearl. It's as rare as broken as one. It kind of is. Symphon Atlas Jacobs Crude. I just pray for fucking everything that the pearls cannot have licensed parts whatsoever. Swear to God, I saw a fucking. I guess not. What a crazy looking downsizer. If any weapon deserves to return as a pearl, it's the Unkempt Herald or the Skull Masher. The only thing is, it'll depend on what they want pearls to be in this. Like, do they just want them to be legendary plus like they were in BL1, or do they want them to be like gimmicky like they were in BL2? I don't really know which one I prefer. I think either way it works. I just hope that they're consistent with it. I want either all of them are gimmicky or all of them are like legendary plus. That is very much so not anything that he drops, actually. Wish the respawn hotkey mod had just had a delete drops option to clean up the damn ground so I can keep farming. Breath of Dying is literally just a corrosive chaos with another kill still, pretty much. Should have made the phosphine weapons like the moon weapons in TPS. I just wish that they made them fucking have unique skins. Even if they were just recolors, like fucking shiny Pokemon. I don't like them all being the same skin. I think it's really lame. Burt's Bees is basically shit without Atlas. No, you don't get it. It's not like anointments at all. Pearl should be the absolute best possible items, hence Unkempt Herald, Stallmasher, and maybe the Unforgiven. I disagree with that. Because I think that's like an incredibly not casual friendly way to do that system, as well as I think that it just makes them lame. If like they're just best in slot, then everyone's going to be using them all the time, right? I prefer gimmicky where like a pearl is maybe best for a specific situation. But I also don't think that they should be like just the best things ever. Because that'll suck if like if the plasma coil was a pearl, you know, and it was like super fucking insanely insano mode rare, I think that would suck. Let the Australians get another shot at the game they cooked. Dude, so fucking true. Bring back glitch weapons. They had some fun tricks. I really like glitch too. Glitch was awesome. No, the Aussies knew it was fucking up. Let them have a crack at it and let them say cunt. There we go. 2 of them! Wait, was one of those a world drop? Are you fucking serious? What the fuck? That one's significantly better. I also hate the 4 plasma. Bro, I forgot the plasma coil was in 4. I used that example specifically just thinking about 3. I totally forgot that gun was even in 4. Holy shit. Bro, I said a brain blast. Glitch Jacobs pistols are one of my favorite weapons in TPS. Dude, Glitch Jacobs pistols are one of my favorite weapons in the franchise. That shit feels so fun. What if we got the Nemesis Invader but had BL1 shocks effect of an AoE blast with every short dot duration? It also has licensed parts that it can roll. Has the same odds as the actual Nemesis Invader, but it also has licensed parts. Are your past streams still up? I wanted to watch some of your Allegiance runs. Yes and no. Not all of them. However, a lot of the older ones are up on an archive channel. Run by one of my Discord mods. It's just called Arachnica VODs. I think the entirety of COV Mo's is up there. And I think a couple... I think the Flak one... Nice! I hit the oh my god because you actually have to build for it. Oh my god is, I think, one of the few guns in that game that I actually really appreciate how it works. That one's also kind of a stat stick in a way, but it like functions differently. You know, it's what I like about guns is when they do cool stuff instead of just I have free stats for no reason. Yippee! Which is like fucking 60% minimum of BO4 weapons is exactly that. Just, I have free stats, look at me. The reason the, what's it called? The reason the Bonnie and Clyde actually gets a pass for me is because, I mean, having to swamp is cool. It reminds me of the Blanc in 3, and I love that gun. But I really like that it also, you can completely dodge reloading as long as you're upkeeping the effect. Having the ammo refill on kill as well for the second or the other mode, I think is really cool, and it adds just a little bit of nuance, you know, to playing with it. GPS had a great campaign for the endgame stank, but treat it like a DLC and it's a fun blast for a few days. Also has some of the, I mean, it has the best fucking still trees in the entire franchise. Really just wish it got, that's a game that I think really could have benefited from some more time to cook. If, unfortunately, the Aussies didn't, like, get executed afterwards. BO3 Infinity was absolute doo-doo. Whoa there. BO3 Infinity is better than the BO2 Infinity. The only reason that the only thing that the BO2 Infinity had over the 3 one, not to say it's good, by the way, not to say the BO3 Infinity is actually like at all worthwhile or worth fucking anything. It is just a good gun though. But in BO2, it was only good because of the interactions that it had. Without the bullshit interactions, that gun sucked shit. Zero with Infinity is good, otherwise nope. Exactly. Overall, it's better in 3. But no, I think it's a gun that's just destined to never be super good. I think the way it is in 3 is as good as that gun could ever be. If you just have a gun that doesn't take ammo, then it requires some serious downsides. Affinity is super cool. I think the Affinity is a good way of actually doing it. Like, making something like that work good. Because it's not truly infinite ammo. But it is still infinite ammo to a degree. The Affinity is very cool. Ballista is really fun. Ballista is probably... It's up there in my top 5. Ballista is super fucking cool. Honestly, most of the guns that I like in that game are snipers. It's probably also part of the reason why I like Vex so much. Definitely agree about the still trees. They were so fucking good. They gotta at least bring those motherfuckers back to make the still trees. Imagine BL4 skill trees with the size of BL4 skill trees, but the attention to detail of fucking TPS. We're almost there. I remember early in BL3, one gun that I could never, or I could only ever uncharitably compare to the Infinity was the Magnificent. It was at one point a serious contender for weakest legendary pistol. Yeah, and then it got buffed into actually being really good. Nowadays, I love the Magnificent, but yeah, it was awful. One more. I think Gearbox needs to learn from BO4. They nailed the world map, learn from the progression in endgame. If BO5 is to have a chance of being good, learn from BO3 and BO4. I kind of just hope they'd pull back on the open world. I really don't think that was the right move, personally. I just don't think it adds anything, and I think it probably stole a lot of dev time away from shit that actually does matter. It's kind of funny that I'm defaulting to like my usual still spec, even though I don't think this is actually how I want this to work. I probably almost want more points into Donnybrook for the health regen. I don't know, we're gonna do some serious retooling. I'm kind of just putting points where I normally would. I'm defaulting. Lower base stats than the Infinity, plus you had to deal with its stupidly long reload animation. I'm really glad to see it's in it get its time to shine with those buffs. Yeah, no, the Magnificent's awesome now. It was always one of my favorite Vladoffs, just, I don't know, I really like things that have unique reloads. That's why I love the Unforgiven so much in 3 as well. I mean, really just anything unique about it. Anything that feels really unique, but especially just unique reloads get me. The Dead Chamber is also a fun one. I was so excited when I saw that there was like rare reloads in BL4. And I was really disappointed when I realized there was like 2. Open world was pretty unnecessary, I agree, but I can't lie. BO4 is a pretty open world, not Witcher 3 level. Don't get me wrong, they did a good job with designing it. It's alright. I think it's... The problem is I'm not a huge fan of open worlds anyways, because I always find that 90% of the time they feel so fucking empty. And to me, BL4 is no different. I think it's an okay open world. It just falls into the same pitfalls that most open worlds do for me. I much prefer the detail that goes into the map design and shit in just any of the previous games. But BL3 especially, one thing that I think BL4 really missed is how intentionally, like, cover is placed. There's very little good cover in BL4. It's also kind of difficult to use cover in BL4 just with how enemies engage you, so like it kind of seems like it was built that way so they didn't have to worry about designing cover, but man, you look at some of the fucking sections in Arms Race and shit and just see how well laid out cover and fucking flanks and shit are. It's fucking beautiful. Like, Arms Race I think is beautifully done fucking map design for actually utilizing cover. And there's tons of different areas in BL3 like that. BL4, it's kind of just enemies run at you and you run at enemies. But no, for an open world, I think it's alright. I love the Hellwalker till they turned it into a free win button with that ridiculous buff. Yeah, the Hellwalker buff was, it was a choice. I think that buff was I think that gun was a gun that was buffed purely on popularity alone. They saw how popular it was and we were like, we can make this the Herald. We just need to buff it. And so they gave it an obscene buff that it absolutely did not need because even before that it was still really good. The only thing that outperformed that shotgun at the time was like a max roll fucking stagecoach, the 25 times I think. We did it! Max level, ladies and gents. Goodness, that was 2 hours. That took significantly longer than I was expecting, and I realize now it was probably because I really did not spend too much time climbing through Mayhem to get the XP buff. However, given how long that was, I think the Mayhem grind is going to wait. I think I might do the Mayhem grind as we progress through DLCs, and we will start the DLCs on day 6, the proper day 6. Because I think for now, I'm going to go take a fat piss out of my dick hole, and then maybe find something to eat. Maybe scrounge around and find something to eat. Might sound a bit sad, but I see BL4 as a learning experience. Take the good parts of BL4 and scrap the rest. BL5 should have BL3 endgame and support. Start with a raid boss and perfect progression. That's what I'm hoping for. My biggest fear, honestly, is that they once again overcorrect. And instead of making BL5, much like how BL4 is kind of just BL2-2, I fear that they end up overcorrecting the opposite way and making BL5 BL3-2. And I don't want that. I don't want... Hey, thank you for the sub, Tuckered Out. I appreciate it, brother. Goddamn. But no, I don't want BL5 to just be BL3-2. I want something new. I want them to take the best parts of everything that came before it and make something new. Like I said at the end of that video, I do not ever expect a Borderlands game to do for me what BL3 did for me. I have no expectation of that because to me, I don't think that could possibly happen again. I want something new. I want to experience this franchise in a new way with new systems, and I don't want them to just rehash shit. And so the best I can hope for BL5 is that that's the biggest thing that they learn, is that we need new shit. I don't expect any Borderlands game to be what BL2 did to me. Exactly. Because it's never going to happen, is the thing. Even if they did one-for-one recreate BL3, nostalgia's a hell of a fucking drug, man. Like, genuinely. I know a lot of people say that shit as like a kind of snarky response to shit, but like, it's hard to fucking beat nostalgia. There's not really many ways to do so. And so that's why they could just fucking one-to-one recreate BL2, and even if they did that, I mean, they kind of did that. Like, BL4 is very BL2. It never pulled away people from BL2. The BL2 people are always going to play BL2. BL3 people are always going to play BL3. Make a new endgame. Find a new audience that BL5 can be their BL2 or their BL3. That should be the end goal. As I said at the end, the final words, the closing words on that statement, you cannot catch the fish that are already in your goddamn boat. Gotta move to a different fucking pond. Anyways, fellas, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. As always, it has been a damn good time. I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, morning, night, whatever time it may be. Hold on, there was one more. Oh my god, what is happening? Thank you for the follow. Where Aries? I appreciate it, brother. I'm worried if it's going to be I'm worried if there's going to be a BL5. I've heard some rumors that that seem pretty believable given the sales numbers and Randy's own statements on how much money they spent. Doesn't look like BL4 is going to turn a profit before its season pass concludes. Honestly, that's kind of a fate that I feel like is pretty common with open worlds, and I wouldn't be surprised because BL4 did sell really well, but I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if it still wasn't good enough for a profit. But I mean, hey, who fucking knows? But yeah, see ya, fellas.